What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Take 5 with your boy Simi Vision. Very appreciative of you being here. Here to give you my opinion on everything entertainment-wise as often as possible during your break time, your lunch break, your smoke break, any break really. You'd better be on break. I don't feel like hearing your boss try to yell at you, trying to yell about me because I'm just that freaking awesome, okay? Let's jump right into it. Going into a subject that might be a little bit touchy for some, but relatable to others. Bad Boys for Life. Two of our most famous and classic characters in Hollywood all together, wrapped up into another movie where one of them, still very much a hothead, finds out somebody's trying to kill him. The other one is in the midst of retiring altogether, getting out of the police department. With how much this movie means to the culture, I have to say, I wasn't expecting much when I walked into the theater to begin with. Walking out of the theater, I was more whelmed than anything. The movie was cool. The action scenes were very well shot. Being the most dynamic in action movies these days is something that everybody is trying to do. What can I do differently with this shot of being punched that somebody else didn't do? How can I shoot this firefight without it looking like a firefight from the last movie? How can I shoot this car chase scene without it looking like what Michael Bay did on the last movie? There was one scene in particular where the bad guy, he came down on one of the Miami bridges with a helicopter with an RPG in his hand. That scene was crazy. They also, used the same computer technology that they also used in another Will Smith movie that just recently flopped not too long ago. I'm not one for scenes like that, but it was all right. I would say where this movie fails is the fact that Martin Lawrence and Will Smith just don't seem like they were too committed to the character anymore. It seemed to me like they were more reading the script than they were actually acting like Marcus and Mike. It sucks to see two of your favorite actors kind of acting in a way where this is more of a glory role for them. They've made an entire, stamp in hip hop and black culture with these two characters. And we've been waiting for this movie for so long. So obviously they wanted to come together. They wanted to put it together. They wanted to give the fans what they wanted. But maybe it's not what was actually needed. Maybe it did what it needed to the first two times. Maybe they waited a little bit too long to do this third installment. And maybe that's why it's not sitting so well. If they had did it 10 years ago, it would have did just fine. But, it's kind of another flop in itself in theaters right now as well. And that makes 3 flops for Will Smith. And I don't know about y'all, man, but when I see an actor having nothing but flops in the past 2 years, I don't know. It don't look good for him. Don't look good. Basically, the connection between the characters that we've seen in the first 2 films wasn't reflected upon this third film at all. Story-wise, you can expect to see a little bit more of the same that we've seen in other Will Smith movies. Like I said, it just sucks to see people trying to do the same thing, but just trying to shoot it differently in Hollywood. And it's really just getting to that point now where just all movies are the same, especially a Will Smith movie now. It's just the same. It's more of the same. He's not reaching out to do more creative and different and art-filled projects. He's just doing these movies to supplement for the fans, essentially get that check, get that money. It sucks to see Martin Lawrence's first movie in how long, and this was all we got. It's sad to say, but I gotta go ahead and give Bad Boys a 5 out of 10. It seemed too much like it was maybe for kids of a new generation than it was for us that actually grew up watching these movies. Make it into the full circle trilogy that it could have been, but it failed. It failed. And I've suffered enough loss this week, and I went ahead and put that on me anyway. I did it to myself. I expected better. Go see Bad Boys in theaters if you haven't already. Let me know what you thought of it down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I know you gotta get back to work, so